Hi, I'm Gina Ortiz Jones. I'm running for mayor. I'm a proud Air Force and Iraq War veteran. And I want to make sure my fellow veterans in Military City, USA have the housing that they can afford and feel comfortable in and allow them to access the medical resources in our community. So I would absolutely work to make sure we were working with landlords to ensure they were accepting the vouchers, right, that our veterans carry with them, and make sure we were also investing in the support services that allow our veterans to access the VA. You know, I get my own care in the VA, so it's really important that we have these services in place, but it really starts with housing that our veterans can afford, and I look forward to working with VSOs, veteran support organizations like the American GI Forum to do that. So unfortunately, the voucher scam has passed. I do not support that. I think it's really important that we keep our public schools funded. I'm a proud product of public education. I went to all Title I schools, in fact, Adams Hill Elementary School, Pease Middle School, John Jay High School. As my fellow veterans, we all know, public education is so important not only for our economy, but for our democracy. And that's why I think it's really important that we are funding those appropriately. I want to do what the city can do, which is fully expand the pre-K for SA program. We can't tell the school districts what to do, but we can give them the best possible product, right? And that means a smart, healthy kid. I also think it's important that we are making smart investments with affordable housing so that we don't have more schools in certain parts of our city closed, right? When I was talking to some of the SAISD leaders, that was one of the things that they really focused on is affordable housing, not only for students, but for their families, as well as for our teachers. So the upcoming bond, and also when we think about economic development in our community, I would think about affordable housing and how it can help with our public education outcomes. So I am a proud Air Force veteran, Iraq War veteran. I most recently served as the Undersecretary of the Air Force. And I know it is important that we keep the promise that we made to those courageous enough to support and defend the Constitution. I want to make sure that our state leaders and our federal leaders and our state delegation and our federal delegation, we're speaking with one voice about the impacts of these policies that are making it harder for our veterans to get a medical appointment, but also for many of the folks that work at the VA that are themselves veterans, right? We've got to make sure everybody understands the consequences of these poor decisions. I would be a vocal advocate for that and make sure that we're helping to place many of these veterans as quickly as we can. You know, I get my own care at either Audi or at the VA clinic off 151, and we've already seen delays in getting care. And female veterans in particular know it's already hard to get an appointment, so now we're just making that harder. And the whole community, unfortunately, suffers because, as our veterans know, if a veteran can't get an appointment with the VA will put you on the economy. That means now we're all competing for these very few appointments with everybody else. So this is an issue for Military City, USA, given our large veteran population, and I would be a vocal proponent on it because, as a proud Air Force veteran, I want to make sure my fellow veterans are well cared for.
Yes, I support ending source of income discrimination for veterans using housing vouchers like VASH. If a veteran has earned that benefit through service, no landlord should be allowed to deny them housing because of how they pay their rent. It's that simple. Veteran homelessness in San Antonio is a failure of coordination and political will. As mayor, I will ensure the city aggressively partners with the VA, HUD, VASH, and local nonprofits to streamline access to housing, eliminate the red tape, and prioritize veterans in every affordable housing initiative. We will build more, streamline faster, and enforce protections. No veteran should be left on the street in the city they help defend. I believe every parent deserves the right to choose the best education for their child, whether that's public, private, charter, or homeschool. But choice without investment is a false promise. The closures we're seeing are a direct result of years of underfunding, poor planning, and political infighting. As mayor, I will work with school districts, community leaders, and state legislators to push for solutions that protect neighborhood schools while also respecting parental choice. Our working families, including many veterans, depend on strong local schools. We can't afford to treat education as a political football. I'll bring everyone to the table, not just to debate vouchers, but to fix the core problems: funding, equity, school safety, and quality teachers. San Antonio is Military City, USA, and that title has to mean more than slogans. When veterans lose jobs due to federal cuts, the city must step up. As mayor, I'll launch a veteran employment initiative that partners with local businesses, unions, and trade organizations to directly place veterans in high-demand industries like logistics, infrastructure, cybersecurity, and public safety. I'll also fight for city contracts to include veteran hiring preferences and expand entrepreneurship support for veteran-owned businesses. Federal cuts may be outside our control, but how we respond is not. San Antonio will not turn its back on those who served. I would lead with action, not excuses. My Veteran Action Plan is built on 3 core principles: enhancing employment, entrepreneurship, and workforce development. This means ensuring veterans can translate their skills, access job opportunities, receive career support, and start their own businesses. Also, we will focus on strengthening housing and healthcare access. This means expanding assistance for homeless veterans, improving access to VA and mental health services, and making San Antonio a more veteran-friendly city. And finally, improving coordination and efficiency with other government agencies. This means streamlining city, state, and federal efforts so veterans don't have to fight bureaucracy and get the help that they need. And this is my message to all veterans. We are all very grateful for your service. You have served our country well, and now I ask you to give me the opportunity to serve you as your next mayor. Thank you.